big blinks and snatch waist. Yeah, she brought the ain't no way somebody daddy ain't gonna give her the spins with her ends, cause yeah, she did it.
Special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland. Our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and who just shy of the 25. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So as we mentioned at the top, well, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with
later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by the 8-time Pro Bowler Steve Atwater.
Well, they certainly weren't afraid to let it fly early, and they hope that'll keep the defense honest and keep the offensive guys excited about getting back out there. They are in attack mode in this game. It did backfire a little bit. Now you're just hoping your defense can keep them off the scoreboard so you're not facing a deficit the next time you run out there.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Brady going to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Deion Sanders, the Hall of Famer, with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching the bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st-round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles, with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And it's there, during that time, I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well.
Thanks for joining.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They keep it up. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Throwing now is Brady. Buying time to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. The NFC with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And partner, I know so far, we're still in the first half.
this, right, where these teams are locked in and going at it. No points going up on the scoreboard. I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do here to get on track and get some points?
I think a couple of ways. Number one, you pull out something that maybe they haven't seen before.
To throw is Favre. And looking for Kittle, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them, and they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
They'll run with Allen, and he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. They'll roll him out right. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here. On now is Vinatieri as he'll try the field goal. This a 27-yard attempt here. Vinatieri's kick is good. And the AFC on the board first. It's 3-0. So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a first-and-goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And
thanks for joining. 3-0 enraged face.
He always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
Montana going to hurry him to the line. Throwing again on second down. Montana. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon. Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, in the NFL were about to go on.
Going to try to throw for it with Montana. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The NFC's decision to go for it does not pan out. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. They start the drive with a give to Allen. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. A loss of a yard there to